Its players are focused on a potential return as early as May. So how will this work? Well, games would be played in Arizona at various ballparks without fans. And the league also issued a statement this morning that they have considered several plans, but have not decided on anything yet. So Shannon, I start with you. In your opinion, how realistic is this, that we could have baseball to watch as early as May?
I hope. It's a logistical nightmare because basically you have 25 major league teams, Skip, and you're trying to get them all into one locale. You're asking an awful lot, Skip. We talked about this at the opening of the show. The testing. Now, if I'm not mistaken, my math could be a little, I wasn't very good at math. If you have 25 major league baseball teams and you're talking about 30 players per team, that's what, 700, 750, give or take, players that's got to get tested. Not managers, not training staff, or anything else other than that. And then I guess, Skip, what they're saying is that if we test you once, we keep everybody in isolation, we should be good. But, Skip, what's the likelihood of 750 people, nobody going out to get a bite to eat, nobody going to get a drink, you're going to have to go to the grocery store, you're going to do something. So you're going to come in contact with someone else other than the people that have been tested and have been given a non-positive test. Skip, I want this to happen so bad, Skip, because, look, I love the news and I try to stay on it, but, Skip, I want to see sports. I want to see football, basketball. I want to see something that's not, Skip, I've seen everything. How many times can I watch the 87 NBA Finals, or can I watch the Super Bowl 50, Super Bowl 48? Skip, I want to see something that's happening right now in 2020. And I know that's being selfish. I know that the pandemic going on right now is more important. But I'm hoping that the officials can get this under control and we can get some resemblance of normalcy. Not that we're going to be normal, but some resemblance of normalcy. That's what I really want. I hope MLB can pull this off, that the baseball and the Players Association can come to some kind of agreement of how this thing is going to work out, and so I can start watching baseball. I've never been so excited to get this kind of news about baseball, but I'm excited about the potential of this possibly happening.
And so am I. I cannot watch a replay of Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals again because I've died 1,000 deaths just watching that. So please help us, Major League Baseball, give us that ray of light, that ray of hope, that first small step back toward normalcy. And the best news that I've heard or read is that federal public health officials have backed this plan, have endorsed it, have basically blessed it to both MLB and the Major League Baseball Players Association. They're on board. They think it has a chance. Obviously, Shannon, as you point out, 1,000 hurdles to get over. But baseball is the one game that lends itself to social distancing because the fielders are obviously fairly spread out. There's the batter's box next to the catcher, but maybe the catcher could wear a mask. Maybe the fielders could wear masks when they come in contact with the base runner occasionally. But in general, if the stands are empty, the players won't sit next to each other in the dugout. They will spread out in the stands when they're not up to bat. When they are up to bat, when they're not out in the field. And there'll be no more mound visits. I don't think there'll be any clubhouse situation where you dress and shower in the clubhouse. I think that will always all be done back at the hotel. You will put on your uniform in your room in isolation at the hotel. You will have to take individual rides to the ballpark. But Phoenix is a great place to try this because Phoenix is, of the metro areas, one of the least hardest hit. And Shannon, there's also a chance if they're going to play in 105 degree, 110 or 12 degree temperatures in the summer in Phoenix, that maybe, they're not sure yet, maybe the virus doesn't survive as well in that kind of extreme heat. We don't know that for sure yet. but maybe. And so Phoenix so far has been one of the least hardest hit metro areas. So maybe baseball can get back on the field and, more important, back on television, because we all need our great escape that is sports. This leads to, okay, NBA, how about you? Well, Commissioner Silver said yesterday he's waiting until May 1st to make his sort of next big decision. But Woj at ESPN reported that Labor Day is their drop dead, so to speak. I hate to use that word in these days and ages, but that they're looking at Labor Day as their cutoff date for completing their playoffs, if in fact they can complete them. So again, basketball has the issue, of course, of less attire, just shorts and singlet tops. So there's more contact with sort of sweaty skin, and there's more chances to communicate the virus. So they have more issues than baseball would have to get back on the court. But they've been talking about doing this sort of biodome idea, this isolation idea, a bubble in Las Vegas. And maybe with the help of baseball leading the way, maybe Commissioner Silver can figure out some ways they can get the NBA back on the court in time for a little bit of regular season and maybe abbreviated playoffs through the summertime. So again, this is the first happy note that we've heard since March 11th, the night Rudy Gobert tested positive, and all of our lives changed maybe forever.
Yeah. But Skip, my thing is that you look at baseball, this says, okay, we can put teams in, and I guess spring training, you have Tucson, you have Scottsdale, you have Phoenix. So you mentioned there are 10, 11, 12 different locales. How many different locales are there in Vegas? You got UNLV. How many? Because you can only play. How many facilities are you going to be able to play? So you got to be looking to play, Skip, 3-4 games a night at least. If you got all these, do you have 3 or 4 or 5 facilities that you can play? Obviously you can probably put somebody. I guess you could turn some of the ballrooms where they hold fights at. They used to hold fights at Caesar's Palace or the MGM or, I guess you could have to use some of the casinos, Skip. You don't have that many facilities. It's not like, because spring training, as you mentioned, is in Arizona. So they have facilities that's MLB compatible. They don't have a whole bunch of facilities like that in Vegas for NBA.
No. I still think they can figure this all out, and I think this is our first point of re-entry into the way things kind of used to be. So I'm excited about it.
Okay.
I think it's a glimmer of hope, and that's what we have to leave it with, because if the players are on board, the league is going to do everything in their power to do it well, to do it safely, and we'll wait and see. We got to talk about Antonio Brown, guys. Did he just get closer to getting back on the field? That's next.
No mercy, no mercy.
Welcome back to Undisputed. Well, Antonio Brown has continued his campaign to make a return to the NFL by hiring a new agent. His previous agent ended their relationship in January after AB allegedly assaulted a moving truck company. So, Shannon, in your opinion, when do you think we will see AB in an NFL uniform again?
Not anytime soon. Skip, what do you think this is on the commissioner's priority list? Let me guess. It's in front of the draft. Absolutely not. It's in front of the upcoming season. Absolutely not. Out of sight, out of mind. The longer this pandemic goes on, the less likely Antonio Brown is going to even get a hearing to go before the commissioner. And remember how that turned out last time, Skip. Look, agents can't do anything about Antonio Brown's legal issues. Agents can't do anything about AB in trouble with the league. That's AB's fault. That wasn't Drew Rosenhaus's fault. Now, he might think that this agent have more pull with Roger Goodell in the NFL, but he's sadly mistaken. He got himself in this situation, and he's going to have to wait his time to get himself out of this situation. I don't expect to see Antonio Brown anytime soon, and that's what he's up against.
I'm afraid we won't see him next football season, whenever that is or however long that will be, because, Shannon, there's still a pending sexual assault lawsuit against him. and he just got charged with a felony in the assault of the moving van driver. And now we've even heard Tom Brady not be able to convince Bruce Arians to be able to join Tom in Tampa. So the signals sent around the league are no, 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 no. And I just don't see where it's going to go from here, because it feels like the entire league has rejected him, and that the commissioner will have no choice but to keep him out of football, at least for next football season.
All right, thank you all for joining us. So good to be back with you, Skip and Shannon. The Herd is coming up next, and don't forget to tune in to Undisputed again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern on FS1. Be well and stay safe.